certainly fell below the expectations that that I have and we all have for the program this year. There was certainly some positive things to kind of look back on at some point. Tonight's not that night. I am proud of the kids for fighting the way they did and representing our school, this community the way they have always. Tonight in particular, North Texas they just played a little bit better. We didn't shoot the ball particularly well. They did a little bit better. I mean, I thought our defense was actually pretty decent. And at the end of the day, Tyler Perry played like late, like the Conference USA Player of the Year that he's been, and they came out with a win. They moved forward, and our season's over, so we move on.
What was the locker room, the mood in the locker room like after that?
It's always sad when it's over. That's it comes to an end fast. For everybody except for in this tournament one team and the other tournament one team. So a lot of disappointment. I think guys felt like they could have maybe played a little bit better. I certainly could have coached a little bit better. And we all got to take our part of the ownership of making sure that we are better moving forward.
Well, Perry's hit so many of those deep threes throughout the year to win games. I mean, did you guys anticipate that he was going to take that shot? Was there anything you guys could try to do to take that away from him?
I mean, again, he's a really good player, and the more range you're able to shoot with, the more difficult it is for to prepare for, because you don't know when a shot is going to come from that range. But obviously, as the shot clock's winding down, he's capable. He's made them consistently throughout the year. He's a heck of a player. We got a lot of respect for him. And tonight he carried his team like the MVP of a conference should. And my hat's off to him. And we saw some of that. It kind of puts you on a little bit of a bind because they have other guys who can shoot. And then when you switch it and try to put a little more length on them, that's where the big guy got his 8 offensive rebounds. Because now we got a lot smaller guy in there trying to block him out. So, again, hats off. Made some tough shots, but certainly has always been capable of that.
What goes through your mind when he lets that fly and you see it find the bottom of the net?
Well, I mean, you make sure you contest it. You want to contest as many of his shots as possible. And I thought he made them overhand. I mean, there were very few that he was just wide open for. In fact, he tried to get away a few times and couldn't, and took the contested shot and made it. And obviously on our end, we didn't capitalize. Something that's just kind of been a recurring theme. I mean, shot making from 3 and the free throw line really bit us at the end of the game today.
Caleb Asbury played pretty well, but then went one for 4 from the free throw line down the stretch, and then missed a big 3 there too. I mean, just kind of what's it like seeing a guy that played so well tonight and has been, I guess, pretty efficient from the line and from 3, just come up short in those moments.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know the exact number, but I think for his career, he's a high 80-something% free throw shooter. I mean, so it happens. It's unfortunate, because you don't control that. He's trying to make it. It's kind of like we talked about the other day. We made him. And the ball goes in the basket. You look better, you feel better. Truth is, he took a wide open shot that we want him to take. He got to the free throw line in the tie game at the end. We have him shoot technical free throws. So, I mean, there's a reason you want a guy like that at the line, because you feel confident he's going to make them. But tonight, didn't go in. And, there's no, happens to all basketball players at every level that sometimes the ball doesn't go in. And it's not really a whole lot of explanation for it. It's not like, I think if we put him out there tomorrow and we had the same situation, I'd feel confident he'd make them.
They play at a pace that you guys, I don't think, have seen this year. You guys got 17 points in the first half. What was kind of your message at halftime, and how did it go?
we knew that. I mean, we knew they wanted to try to play the game that way. We watched enough film of their conference games that they probably wanted a low possession, controlled tempo game, and we wanted to try to ratchet it up, and we just couldn't get out of the mud. They were really, really physical. We failed to play through that physicality. And then in the second half, we were able to pick it up. And I think we scored 17 in the first half and scored like 15 in the first few minutes of the second half. So we got the game going at our pace. We just weren't able to sustain it, as evidenced by, I think our largest lead was 3. We never were able to put real pressure on them to have to change the way they were wanting to play.
What are some of your takeaways from this group that you have?
That's a good question. I don't know if I'm in a good place to really answer that. Again, I mean, they dealt with a lot, like all teams do. The injuries certainly were a factor, but not here to make excuses. We didn't meet the expectations, of the program that I have, or I'm sure our fans have, and it's my job to make sure we get better.
You talk about the portal and all that stuff. When will you start having discussions with those guys? Especially, you got a lot of guys with 1 year of eligibility left.
Yeah, it'll be pretty quick. By rule, we got to give them some time off, but those conversations can start to happen fairly soon. And then, like I said before, each person's conversation is a little bit different because their options are a little bit different. And so, some of them will probably be fairly brief. Some of them may take a little bit longer to decipher, but at the end of the day, we'll all get on the same page about what's necessary for our program to have more success moving forward.
You had a moment there where you were talking to Caleb Boone on the Wild there for a benching all the way through a good portion of the timeout, and before that, I guess just what were you saying? If he looked a little bit frustrated or upset about something?
I was just trying to get him to kind of, just re-engage. He struggled. There's no question, and we never quite figured out why, because it was literally right on the heels of him playing the best basketball of his career. It was kind of a fascinating thing to watch, and really kind of sad in a lot of ways for me, kind of knowing the kid. He just couldn't get it going again, for his talented. I mean, there's simple basketball plays out there that just weren't being made. So I was just trying to encourage him that, you don't have to feel like this pressure. You don't have to do this by yourself. You got a whole team, you got a coaching staff, you got teammates. Try as much as you can to go out there and have fun.
Coach, coming out of halftime, what did you tell your team to get the offense rolling the way it did?
First we just talked about staying with it defensively. We couldn't let our lack of scoring dictate our mindset on the defensive end. And we knew that Perry would keep going. I think one of the things we did early in the second half, which maybe made him feel a little bit more comfortable, is we fouled him on a three-point shot, which we kind of gotten away from. He saw the ball go in the basket a little easy there. But I really just wanted to try to implore those guys to really try to get the tempo of the game up to where it was going to be more advantageous for our athleticism and playing a few more possessions than maybe they wanted to.
Mike Bryce had hit the.
Sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Oh, thanks. With Musa having a perfect night from the field, just what do you think of kind of how his offense has developed, and what do you see for I know it's his decision, but kind of what's next for building his game?
I don't really know at this point, what his mindset is. He's obviously a really talented kid, but he's made progress. He's made a lot of progress on both ends of the court. He's gotten in better shape. Last year he wasn't able to play the sustained amount of minutes that he's able to play now. It's part of the process of getting better as a player. And next year, whatever it is, he needs to be a better player. And that'll be the conversation, is what it takes for him to become a better basketball player this offseason.
Mike, Bryce had hit that jumper kind of on your first couple of possessions of overtime. You guys didn't score again until under a minute left. What did North Texas do, or were you guys just missing shots throughout that period?
I have to go back and look at the play-by-play and see where they came from. I felt like we got good looks. Obviously, they make it hard. They contest everything like we talk about. I mean, you had two really good defensive teams. Like I said, they made a couple more tough shots than we were able to make, and that was the difference in the game.
How tough is it to go out in a game like that?
I think just going out any game, is rough, but we just felt like we had a really good chance to win, and, unfortunately they made some shots down the stretch and we kind of struggled. So, I mean, it is what it is. They're a good team, but we feel like we should have won that game, but, they came out and they executed their game plan better than we did, so got to tip your hats to them.
Do you feel like they controlled the pace in the first half, especially?
A little bit. They were getting a lot more easy buckets. We were kind of having to work a little bit harder for ours, but overall they just kind of executed better.
What will kind of be your takeaways from this season?
Good season. I mean, I'm happy I got to do it with these guys, man. These are great teammates, great coaches. I appreciate the fans. It was just a great year, man. I mean, obviously we didn't accomplish the goals, that we originally set out to do, but I think overall, there's a lot of positives that you can take from it, and you just get back to work, man. That's pretty much it.
John Michael, what's your takeaway from your 1 year at OSU?
Yeah, I've enjoyed it. Sad it has come to an end so quickly. But I made a lot of good friends with my teammates. Met a lot of good people here at the university. Had a lot of fun while we was doing it. Had our ups and downs, but I wouldn't trade the experience for the world. So yeah, I enjoyed my time here.
As you go forward, you still have a year left. Right? What's kind of going to go into that decision?
I want to finish getting my degree and all that stuff. So I'm thankful to have the opportunity to have an extra year. So just that's something I think about later on. I ain't really thought about it so far. Because I had intentions on finishing this year out in Vegas. That's what my mom was on, so I haven't really thought about it. But, I have that option open. So.
You think that going out like this in this kind of fashion will maybe kind of change the idea of what you could do next year?
Losing definitely motivates you, so just to come back, I wanted to go to March Madness, never been, and, that's something that I want to be able to say I've experienced in my college career. So, thankful that I still have opportunity to do that, and, we still have a lot of guys that can come back, so, we'll just see what happens.
So in the first half, we saw y'all start out a little slower, and then the second half, we saw the offense surge. What went right in the second half? Were y'all able to turn things around?
I think it started with getting stops. We were able to get stops, and then from there we were able to rebound and kind of push the ball and keep the pace up. But whenever they're making buckets easy left and right, we're playing against a set defense. So I think that's probably the main difference is we started getting stops and we were able to push the ball.
UNT's coach came in and mentioned how managers said they kind of had to make ugly shots to win against the tough defense that you all were playing. How did you see their team respond to your defense and still kind of find ways to work around it?
A lot of times, they just made a tougher shot. It wasn't necessarily bad defense, but a lot of times we were there, and sometimes it just goes in. That's where you just got to give credit to them and just try better next time.
Can those type of buckets where shot clock's winding down, they're dribbling around, and then it still goes in, can those kind of be more back-breaking than the traditional make?
Sometimes, because a lot of times, you've guarded them for the whole shot clock. So now it's just you just need a one quick stop for 5 seconds, get a rebound, and then you're off to the races. But sometimes, like I said, they just go in for them.
For more information, you can visit TulsaWorld.com.